So here we are again. We ended with some heroes that we always tend to trust. And then there is the Hollywood system with its morals. And I would say even promiscuity, because you see the same stars getting together in every other movie. That's kind of like mating with a lot of people. So if you continue, here it says, for example, people like to collect stamps because they can feel like a little emperor themselves, because it's a kind of a closed system where you actually can become overlooking it all that you can't in life. So that's the reason why collecting stuff, whatever it is, stamps, anything, is so popular. If you have a company and you offer something that people can collect, they sure will start doing so, even if it's dirt, if it's just rubbish. Here you see that if you have some kind of a furry puppet, people tend to like this. Here someone mocks this woman down here because this gossip magazine tended to tell all about her life all the time. So actually stuff that is rare doesn't get this treatment. But she was just making money as long as it was working, so then if you have a co-worker, then this symbiosis of two different people sure can lead to success. And we always go saying in arts the avant-garde was so special. Here when there was Dada and when Fluxus was happening in performance art. But actually how it happened was just that different styles of people came together and started doing stuff, instead of just the ones that kind of have the same topic anyhow. So that's the reason for that. If you ever wondered how the heck did it happen, they started getting off like this. So here there is a whole chapter about the brains, but here it says that our brains just remember the very last moments of everything. And especially when there has been a climax, the very last moments before this climax gets lost, that's what our brains record. So that's why we like happy ends. So you should really end your story with a happy end. Otherwise people get upset. Here, if you do stuff for the kids, you can be sure that people like it, because kids just will always be there, and parents are really liking it if they don't have to think about some program for their kids, but can just follow yours. And here it says that the Austrian dialect is perceived very well. That's for Switzerland. We like that a little bit better than the Germans. Here is some information about water. We have like 70% water, but just a little percentage, that much, can be drunken because that much is salt water. That's kind of paradox. So here it says that the rich all go to the same places for holidays. So same kind of people like to gather together. So if you know where your people come together, then you can go there and sell them your stuff. They wouldn't want to have cheap stuff there, so with expensive stuff you can go to these places because the rich are there. Here it says that the Beatles' Stu Sutcliffe was leaving the band because of her love. That's kind of recipe for success as well, love. So here they're just penetrating it. They're saying that this world brand is the one with the 3 stripes. Oh, come on. Yeah. Well, that's a stupid note I wrote years ago. If you're self-assured, then you don't need ads in the style of this primitive buy me, because people will just like your stuff anyhow. Funny. Well, here is a book that has been short history of time, has been translated in more than 30 languages and 20 million books sold. So maybe people were a bit curious because he's in the wheelchair, not being able to talk, Mr. Hawking. So maybe people, they bought the book just because of that. They were pitying him. Could be a little bit that factor as well. Yeah. So here we got the band that was really successful and he made a lot of money. But now that he gets older, it's difficult for him to continue like this. So youth is good as well. Sells kind of. Here Pamela Anderson, she stopped working and then all of a sudden people sent her requests for this and that, movies and stuff. So maybe if you don't try that hard, you become kind of appreciated in show business. Here it says something about private schools. It's always a good thing too if you can say you've been at the private school where you have all the different nations gathering together, usually. So here is Pamela Anderson again. So here it's like sex sells. And also transvestigation tells us she might be a man, a born man. Oops. So then here it says Kurt Cobain wasn't he looked for success very hard, it says. Not sure if that is true. Then there are like different people, like he's leading a circus in Switzerland. He was asked about the future of it. And he said people that don't find a place in society are very much accepted in the circus. Little ones, for example. And then he explains the circus a bit too.